Hello, hello, hi. Welcome on in. Hi, healer. Hi, feather. Why is there no second redeem? I feel like that's a very slippery slope because then you'll have first, and then second, and then third, and then so on and so forth. Yeah. But it's okay. We have the daily sign in. But hi, everyone. Welcome on in. I am a terrible parent because my cat just snuck out without her collar. So now I'm like, I hope she comes back. I'm sure she will. This is Julian, by the way. She's usually the very well behaved one, but she's been learning a lot of bad habits from Wally. I've seen it go up to three for some people. Exactly. It's a slippery slope. That's how it starts. It starts with a second, and then a third, and then, yeah. Hi, Goldie. Welcome on in. A part of me was wondering, should I just cancel stream and then spend the night going outside looking for. Oh, you rolled a one. You did this to everyone. You did this. Now everyone point and blame them. Well, yeah, that's what happens if you roll a one. Did I do the bombs? Yeah. If you roll a one, it does the mass bomb command. So yeah, we're working on a new model. We're gonna turn this into this. I need more? There's no command to just like bomb everyone. I think only the. Yeah, I think only I can do the mass command. Because you have to have exclamation mass, then exclamation bomb. But yeah. 1 in 20 chance of blowing everyone up? You rolled a 2. But hi, everyone. How's your day been? I'm trying to remember where I was. Hey, Artie, do you have any drop frames? No, 0 frames dropped. So Cat Angel, yeah. They said that they eventually want to have a second one of like a demon cat, so they can have one on each shoulder, you know? I love that audio. I'm glad it worked. I might have to change that over to. What's it called? What's the sound thing called? Sound alerts? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, for some reason my Twitch is laggy. You know, I've actually noticed that on my end as well. Not today, like when I'm a viewer. You know, you have rolled 2 nat 1s. I don't know if you're unlucky, because that's bad, or you're very lucky, because that seems to be what you want. Yeah, Twitch has been like slowly gutting their servers for a while now. This is the result. That's disappointing. I stopped screen sharing to watch you, but I can, so cry. Good luck, have fun with stream. You know what? Understandable. Good luck with your shit posting. That's my last roll. I'm out of points now. Well, I guess you gotta stick around. Watch some more. Farm those points. I recently decided to be a little bit more active when it comes to like social media and posting things. So I dusted off my Blue Sky account. I'm not sure what I want to post there. For now, I just posted the showcase video for Goldie's model. And just like that, immediately I was out of content. I do have like the old showcases. So I think maybe I'll just slowly post those ones over time. So yeah. I would say that's the one benefit of joining a corpo is you probably don't have to do much marketing. I wasted all my 666 points on Gamba. It happens. At least it's not real money. That look weird. That looks fine. But yeah, sorry I couldn't stream yesterday. I was in the middle of a conversation and I realized I couldn't form a single coherent thought. And that's when I realized, oh, my brain is really not here today. But I'm here today. But I did win 2 times. Well, rolling a nat 1 and blowing everyone up is a strange way to. It's a strange thing to consider winning. But I get you. It's a huge W for me. You know what? To each their own. I considered doing haste today. You know, little better Subway Surfers in the background. You know, instead of art. But I'm like, we had a gaming stream last time, and despite the yapping allegations, this is an art channel. I think the only difference is when it comes to games, it's a little harder to be yappy. So I was like, yeah, we can do art today. I don't know if you guys were there for the Overcooked stream I had a couple days ago. Because I think that's usually when I have those are the only times when my streams are a little bit more chaotic, a lot less chill, less yappy. Because when we're playing a game, I notice I can only read the messages like in between rounds. I think pretty early on when streaming, I came to the conclusion that whenever I play games, it's kind of hard to like yap as well. And I discovered pretty early on that Yapping is my favorite part. Ooh, in a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly when. We'll officially have we'll officially have been here for a full year on Twitch. Time flies. I wonder when the exact date is. Hold on, let me double check. Because I have my streaming email connected to my phone, so it does show me all of like the stuff. Yeah, according to this, 4th of December. Oh, okay, that's very close. That's a week away. For those of you that are streamers, do you guys have like any goals set? Or is it just like a hobby thing? Because for me, I think I only have one goal when it comes to streaming, and that is, am I having fun? So yeah, check that one off the box, and we're pretty much set. My day's great. I finished the final arc of Star Rails something. Is that like the update? It was really good. I'll take your word for it. I think the one and only gacha I ever played was Genshin. The other ones, to me, feel just like the exact same thing over and over. It's got more mythology than actual mythology. Well, more story brings in more money for them, so that makes sense. Hmm. You know, when I made the title for today's stream, I didn't think I'd actually be productive. Hmm. Also, I noticed there's a lot of angel themed creators out there to the point that I might actually have to start adding a halo into like common assets. I made this one a very long time ago for one of the free models. I'm like, hmm, I could just yoink it and plug it in here and it'll work fine. We'll see. Could always add it in as a toggle. Well, they do want to toggle off the when someone acts really nice. Oh, you're right. I didn't think of that. Because you see, the thing is, if something is like a common asset, to add it takes like 5 seconds. So if we were to just, yeah, that's a good idea. I should remember to do that. Devil horns, however, may be a bit tricky, so it won't be a package deal. I'd say for horns, it kind of has to like attach to the head, but something like a halo kind of just floats around there. Hmm. I'll make it round. When it comes to like art and design, um, things that are like softer and rounder, give off the impression of what's it called? Cuteness, whereas kind of sharp things give off more evil, chaotic vibes. So yeah, I was thinking, should this be pointy or a bit more rounded? Are all of the eyes gonna move? I believe so, because since they all look exactly the same, you just need to make one, rig it, and then copy paste it to like all of the other places here. I think I did that for another model. Mm, Not multiple eyes, but they had like an eye on the forehead. And that one wouldn't move with like the model's normal eyes. That one would be tracked by like the mouse independently. So for example, if uh if their face is going left and right, but their mouse is going up and down, that middle eye will be going up and down. So it gives it this kind of sentient feel to it. So for this one, I think I'll be doing something similar. These are similarly shaped. I love symmetry in models. It allows me to be very lazy. Bit too thick. I do have another full body model that I'm working on. They have like an eldritch theme going on, and they want like lots of tentacles. I wonder if I should add eyes to them. Hmm. Ooh, I can experiment with that one. Because, for example, the eyes here, making them track the mouse to move independently, fairly simple. But in theory, you could make, yeah, you could make like an animation file where they all just move around erratically and kind of just, a looping animation. I know the theory, but I've never actually tried that. Maybe one day. I love experimenting with like a lot of the models. Unfortunately, time is my biggest limiting factor. That's why I keep saying I need to be adopted by a rich person as like their personal artist so I can just focus on making really nice art. If the person is a gamer, you could have the eyes track with the analog sticks. That could end up being funny. How would that work? There's probably a way, but I don't know it. Because when you adjust like the parameters on VTube Studio, you click on the thing that says input, and it says input mouth, input eye, input this. I think you can add custom ones, but I've never done that before. That would give you so much control. Hmm. Crap, I don't have a controller anymore. I used to have a PS4 controller, but I gave that to my brother. Darn. It'd be a little goofy, but it'd be funny. Yeah, imagine you just like connect each of the joysticks to like one of the eyeballs and you just like make them look around randomly. Not like this one, like, your own. Like, for example, like this, you can just make them look in different directions. I think I have one that could do that. What model was it? Was it the goose one? I think it was. Hi, kitty. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah. See, making it rattle around like this, bounce the physics, not too bad. But if you had like a joystick, you could make them move wherever you want. Not feeling well, I have a cold. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I hope you have a blanket, something nice to eat, and you can lay back and relax. Hold on, I'm not actually a goose. I was just showing off the eyes for this model. I eat vegetable soup for dinner. Soup sounds nice. I'm more of a fan of chicken soup. When's the last time I had soup? You know, when I don't live at home, uh, without my mom making me these things, I just forget to. I have not had soup in ages. My mom keeps telling me, "Oh, buy the packets of instant soup." So when you have like a cold or when you're sick, you can just have it. I just haven't done that yet. I don't think I ever have living alone. I always nod and be like, "Yeah, yeah, of course," and then forget. A bit higher up. Now I want soup. Came in here and bestowed upon me cravings. This shouldn't be pointy. You know, I was thinking about the TTS assistant that I wanted to build, and I noticed the problem when it comes to building a personality is it kind of overdoes it. I don't know if any of you have like tried making a personality for an LLM. I think I can only describe it as a cringe role player. You know, I love RP, I love D&D, all of the sorts. Um, but when you try to get a model like that to embrace a personality, it always overdoes it. I don't like it. So instead, I decided I want to lobotomize it. I'm like, I want to stop it from making things up. So I'm like, you have no personality, you have no memories, you know nothing, all of that stuff. And I think maybe I'll make like a kind of golem servant to serve as that, you know? It's just a thought that I had. I still haven't made any progress with that. But I think I was thinking about it and I was like, the cringe personality that it generates for itself, kind of awful. At least for me, I never managed to get it right. Although I have started to notice a lot more people have been using services like that, kind of like a. I think Frosty is the one that I've begun to notice. You need Cole to build off of. I have mine set up to handle voice input, feed the text, and then you suggest, oh, that would be amazing. You know what? I'll reach out to you when I continue working on it. Because I think I have just done the very basics. Because at first, I just wanted to build only the personality before working on anything else. I wanted to make sure it worked before I build everything else, and then the important part just doesn't work. If I have a GitHub account, I think I can add you to the project. Well, I don't have one that is public, so that's unfortunate, but it's okay. I don't think I've used GitHub in ages. I remember making one while I was in uni, but I never really used it. All of my code is just saved on like my hard drive. So I might show off what I got next week. Oh, you mentioned streaming in December. But if that's not what you mean, yeah, I can put it in the art channel. Well, it's not really an art channel. I call it artsy stuff. Literally anything that's created, yeah, could go in there. Yeah, I'm on vacation starting late next week, so I will play around with streaming more that month. Ah, that sounds great. I think that's also how I started streaming. It was when I graduated. I think it was before I got like, what's it called? Yeah. I think I just had like a lot of time on my hands. I was like, what do I do? Because I was waiting for the company that hired me. I was waiting for like their visa stuff, and it took like forever. So I was like, I guess I'll start streaming. I wanted just to like experiment. I wouldn't even say I started streaming, right? This was this was years ago. I went live. Not what you see now, not teacup model, not I didn't even have a mic, right? So it was just me testing out OBS, seeing how everything worked. And this is when had my laptop, right? Will everything crumble and catch fire? And yeah, I feel like if I tried doing that before, I would have been way too busy and just like shrugged it off and not like given it the attention it needed. I think that's when I decided, ooh, this is fun. I should do this later. And then I forgot about it for like, I think a few years. And then way, way, way later, I'm like, you know what? These scams online for like people pretending to be artists is getting kind of crazy. And I think the best way to prove that, you're a real person is to do the work live. And that was like my original intention for streaming. Anyway, that didn't work out because I ended up enjoying the yapping and just hanging out. And here we are. I think it's the kind of thing that when you have like room to, breathe and experiment, like vacation, if you're bored, starting when you have free time can help getting over the initial stress. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, hitting start streaming the very first time is like the most stressful. And I'm not even exaggerating because I think that's when you have the least experience. You know nothing about what to expect. Maybe you have like an idea or two, but yeah, you never know until you do it. So I think once you do that and you realize, oh, this isn't so bad, just like driving for the first time, kinda, yeah. Also, I would say it's kind of like when you're about to like go swimming and you're like, oh, the water's going to be freezing, and then you dip your toe in and you're like, it's actually not that bad. Yeah. I think just the stress before doing it is like the worst part. Not to sound cliche, but just like dive in and do it. You'll either realize you like it or you realize you don't, and whatever you notice, both are okay. Like this for those who have never like who have like never streamed, maybe considering it, that kind of stuff. I'd say like there's nothing to lose just by starting out. A lot of people feel like what's the way of putting this? I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be like amazing right out of the gate. Mm, I don't subscribe to that. I always believe whenever people start things, more often than not, like, it stumbles, people figure things out, and then eventually, yeah, they get their bearings and it all works out. The biggest problem is just getting started. That's always the case. The more, the longer I'm here on Earth, the more I realize that is true. Nobody starts something perfect. Yeah. I actually have a friend who's a bit of a perfectionist. How do you say this? She's the kind of person who she's like, I want to be a jack of all trades, but I can't just be a jack at anything. I have to be perfect at it. So in the end, she'll end up doing like way, way, way too much. And I was actually having a conversation with her about this. I'm like, you need to be like a bit nicer to yourself because you fail way better than most people succeed. Because she's the kind of person who'll do like three full-time things, succeed at two of them, not yet succeed at the third, and be like, I am a failure. Except me because I'm the best. Hi, Maxine. You know, as ironic as that sounds, that is the best attitude to have because, sure, if you just start something out and be like, I am the greatest, right? And you are delusional about it, other people be like, oh, okay, that person is not the best. But you keep at it, you keep saying, like, yeah, I'm great at this. Eventually, you will get good at it. And that actually starts being true. Hello, Ordy, how you? I am doing great. I would be doing better if my cat came home, but I think she went out on a stroll. I opened my window because it's a little warm. The heating is a bit too high. And then I realized I have no idea where she is. Now, the paranoid cat in me is going, "Oh, she climbed out the window. I realize she doesn't have her collar. She is going to get eaten by wolves." But realistically, there's a very good chance she's just in my housemate's room. Even if she has gone outside through the window, she has done that before. She goes out, sniffs around a bit, realizes she doesn't like the vibe, and then she climbs back in. I did stick a flashlight out there. I couldn't see her. So I'm like, there's a good chance she's just in my housemate's room. But my housemate's not home, and I can't ask them, is Julian in there? So I'll just have to wait. But yeah, I'm learning to trust in my cat. If I just ignore everyone else doing it, then I am the best. Do you know what my about section on Twitch says? Hold on. Let me get it word for word. If you look at my about section, it says Twitch's yappiest cat in a teacup, right? Not not Twitch's yappiest, not yappiest cat, specifically cat that is the yappiest in a teacup. Because I don't know any other cats in a teacup. So I can claim that title. It's like going, I am number one. The list is one person long. So yeah, we're not so different, you and I. Or the people you surveyed were your friends, exactly. Truth be told, for a lot of my close friends, we don't sugarcoat things, and this is because like we've been friends for like over a decade, like basically family, you know. Sorry. So in a survey like that, hmm, I'm just thinking, how do I phrase this without how? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the word is. But I'm like, I don't think I would like to have friends who only say nice things. Yeah, the HP method, they have full paragraphs of small text explaining the specific conditions where they have the best computers. Exactly. We are the best computer company only if it is the sole laptop held above your head during a blood moon where the ancient symbols have been scribbled on the floor. In those conditions, they are the best. You know, I was talking to someone and I accidentally used the phrase my human friends, and they had no context of what that meant. And they were like, do you not consider me a human? Because I was talking about other people. And I was like, oops. Wrong personality is bleeding into the wrong conversation. It happens. Like, for example, yeah. Okay, for example, usually when I'm with my human friends, by that, the definition is my friends that I know IRL, who think I am a normal, no, normal is a strong word, who think I am a human, right? They don't know of the cat stuff. Now, wait, where was I going with this? Right, sorry. When I'm talking with those friends and I'm telling a story, right, I'll be like, oh, and this person said, and then I include my name as in like part of the sentence that they say. For example, I'd be like, "Oh, I told this joke, and this person said, Ordy, you're so funny." Except I don't use Ordy, right? Replace the name. I think very very early on in my streaming career is not the word I'd use. Very very early on when I started streaming, I think I was telling a story like that, and just force of habit, the barrier broke, and I just said like, my human name here. And the thing is, I realized it, and I was just like, oh, oops. But I didn't say that out loud. I was very nonchalant about it. I just kept moving on like nothing was wrong, and I don't think anyone noticed. But yeah, the barrier has broken before. This is just the first time it broke, you know, the other way. And I was like, oops. It's also the same thing. Like, there are times it's come close, but not really. Like, before, I think I'm telling a story, and I was about to go, like, oh, the curious cat that I am. And I was about to say that to my human friends. But I was like, the curious person that I am. Yeah, it happens. It happens. The worst thing to do is panic and bring attention to it. Yeah. Because unless something is like clipped or like really, really committed to memory, I think I forgot who mentioned this, but when they're talking about like streaming and stuff, they're like, yeah, people will only ever remember things from 6 streams ago. I think I forgot what the moral of that story was. Like it was part of a point that like if you want to like shift things and change a little bit here and there, and you're like, oh, but they don't. oh, maybe people came for like this thing and maybe they won't like that one. Because I think when a lot of people start out, before they have like solidified maybe like a little core audience, usually I think it's just people that come and go. Uh, yeah, like in a stream, I think maybe there's like 40 to 50 unique people that pass by. But I think most of them just like pop in, see things, and then like leave. It's only the ones that are like, I like the vibe, they will stick around. So that's something I've come to learn about streaming. Crap, I think I gave my friend the wrong date and now he's going to my house when I'm not there. If this friend has wronged you, you can pretend like it was an evil plan all along as revenge and not a screw up on your part. There's a reason that people like to rebrand. Is the best way to start over. Honestly, yeah. If you're doing something and you decide, like, I don't like this, full hard reset, rebrand, personally, I think it's okay. I try not to change things too much, mainly because I like the way things are. And yeah, I like the system that's been built and I don't want to break it. Upgrade it and tweak it here and there, but yeah. Cough, meta cough. Exactly. I think too many people had like a Facebook left, I think like a little bit of how would you say this? I think there's a lot of negative connotation to it. And they didn't want to like, yeah. You know what? It's fine. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough on that topic to give my opinions. Since starting out, it's easier to play around with style. Exactly. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think people should be locked into, kind of locked into a cage. At the end of the day, it is your stream. You are to do what makes you happy. I'm one of those people who believe like no matter what you do, it's not someone's cup of tea, and that's okay so long it's your cup of tea. Thank God I caught him before he left. Perfect. I'm the kind of friend who, if I'm caught like before I leave the house, like I'd be like, "Hey, no worries. This just means I put on my comfy clothes again and go hop back onto my computer." But if I left like the house already, I'd be like, I would grumble a little. I don't think I would find myself in that situation because I am the one who will make plans and then maybe like 30 minutes to an hour before I double check and I confirm like, hey, are we still on for today? Right? That way I avoid that situation where I go to someone's house, they're like, oh, oops, made a mistake, or oh, I forgot and I have like left to do something else. You know? Paranoia pays off sometimes. This design is based off of a real cat. Let me see if I can find the picture. There he is. Adorable. But I feel like this is too big. I'm going through all my messages with all my mates, making sure I gave the right date. Ah. I think usually when it comes to like information like that, I always double check everything. Like for example, say today's a Friday. Say I've made plans for next week Wednesday. I'll be like, okay, we've made the plans. I check the dates and everything, and I'm like, okay. Maybe the next day I'll be like, this is on Wednesday, right? I'll check the messages. I'll scroll back up. I double check. I check the calendar, and even if it's in the calendar, I'm like, did I insert this correctly? And we'll double check the messages again. Compare the calendar event to the messages. I'm like, this tracks. And I'll probably do that like once a day up until like the day arrives. I don't know. It's just like a nervous habit of mine. I think that looks better. It has these little tufts here. This cat will be a part of your daily life eventually. Oh, it's not my cat. I already have two of those. I'm thinking if Julian's in the house, she's probably waiting outside my door. Do you want one more? No, but I do annoy my parents by saying that. So they, unironically, think that I'm gonna be a crazy cat person. So when I got Julian, they're like, this boy has loved cats all his life. He got one, that's okay. And then I got Wally, and they're like, okay, if we don't do something soon, he's gonna have 20 of them. So they started like, just like very subtly going like, one cat is enough. Like, do you really need to? Definitely not three. That's kind of how they're like talking to me. And I realized what they were doing. So me being the irritating son that I am, I was like, I went to this place to study, and I got Julian. And then I went to this other place to work. I got Wally. Now that I've moved here to the UK, I should keep the tradition alive and I should get cat number three. And then my mom started panicking because she's like, oh no, he's going to become an old crazy cat person. We should get this boy married or something. And then he'll like forget about the cats. Hi, newbie. Welcome on in. Talk about how my parents think I might end up as a crazy cat person. Imagine there are purple cats in the world. They can be if you rub some dragon fruit on them. One of my friends is like, hey, you should get some dragon fruit and just rub it on Wally. Dye him purple. See how he reacts. I was like, that poor boy is already ostracized by the other cats. I don't need to give them one more reason to bully him. But I like purple hair permanently. Hmm. I imagine they'll just be like those expensive breeds. Like if they exist but are not too common. Yeah, you'll probably just see them at the pet shop for like, I don't know, $1,000. Oh, we have ads. Permanent haired cat. Yeah, with the right. Wait, does purple hair exist in nature? I don't think so. Does purple hair exist in nature? What the hell is this? I just typed that in the search bar, and instead of showing like the Google search result, it opened up like Google AI, like ChatGPT. I was like, oh, it automatically opened up AI mode. Ew. Does purple hair exist in animals? Mm, natural purple fur is extremely rare in wild animals. Rare implies it exists. Okay, there is pink, like flamingos, but not purple. Gene edited designer cats, probably something that can only happen in China right now. Oh, yeah, they are. I think I saw like an interview. Some scientist was like, "Hey, aren't you like afraid of like playing God and like the I think they basically were like, "Aren't you worried about like the religious repercussions of playing God and stuff like that?" And the guy he was interviewing just looked at him confused, like, "What are you talking about?" But yeah, I think China is like not looser, but they've allowed it. But yeah, in the U.S. and I think most of like the rest of the world, it's only like small animals and for like research purposes. I don't think you can just do it for whatever. Could be, but I'm not too sure. Pretty sure some scientists in one lab decided to add purple pigments to cat fur just for funny. Oh, they made some cats glow in the dark. But the thing is, they're like, oh, they made these cats glow in the dark. And you'd be like, why would they do that? I think it was just so that they can know for sure that, hey, the gene transplant that they did worked. Because they're like, oh, here are some cats. We want to edit its DNA. But you can't just look at a cat and like tell. So like, okay, what if we also made it glow in the dark? So yeah, what if we also made it glow in the dark? That way, once it's born and we test it and it glows in the dark, we know for sure that our experiment worked. There's something wrong with Google. Yes, but that's not new. Now I think they have like this AI mode that's always optional. It's this little thing like hold on. If you go to Google, you'll see this AI mode. Now, I knew this existed, but I've never touched it. I think when I searched in like the search bar up there, instead of going to Google and then searching it, I just typed it up there. It defaulted and opened up AI mode, and I'd never seen that before. I'm like, what on earth is this? Making animals glow in the dark is pretty standard. They add glow in the dark to their edits to act as visual confirmation. Yeah, exactly. I think, if I remember correctly, one of those experiments were to make sure the cats don't produce any dander, so people who are allergic to cats just they don't suffer any allergies. In a sick in some sick irony, there was actually I saw online that cats can also be allergic to humans, the way humans are allergic to cats. Sometimes these glow in the dark variants make it into pet stores, like how you can buy glow in the dark axolotls. Oh, I guess they do the experiment and they're like, okay, we're done with this cat now. I guess that someone else can have it. Cats can be allergic to cats as well. I think Julian is allergic to Wally, but only emotionally, not physically. She does not like him. Although they have like they tolerate each other a lot more. I think it's because they have a common enemy. Um, One of my housemates' cats, 80. I notice there's been like a lot of friction between like my two cats and him. Usually it was just Wally. Wally would just like run up and bully him for no reason because Wally's an ass. That's how he plays. But I noticed Julian started like growling and like shooing him away, about to like fight him. So I was like, either she feels like she wants to take over the rest of the house and, ousting him from his territory or her territory in her mind, or she saw him and Wally fighting and is like, no one fights my homeboy but me, and then decided to back up Wally. I don't know. All I know is whenever they like pass by each other, there's like a lot of growling and in some cases screaming. So yeah, it's been tough. I just keep them separate, and that seems to work out. I'm kind of itching to just put my headphones down and be like, BRB, guys, I want to check if my cat's outside my door. But I think that's a bit too soon. Usually, if she's in my housemate's room and like I'm streaming, she usually shows up afterwards. Like right before I go to bed, I just open my door and she just runs in. But I don't know. I'm just a paranoid parent. You know what one of my friends said to me the other day? Like I was talking about like the cats and all the stuff, and she's just like, "Oh, you'd make such a great single parent. Someone should get you pregnant." Wild how, and this is one of my human friends. They've never said anything like that. I'm like, I did not see that coming. But I don't know. It sounds tough. I agree. Someone should get you pregnant. Well, I give birth to VTuber models. That counts. Yes. Right? I know it's like a bit. Usually, sometimes people refer to like the VTuber artist and VTuber rigger as like, this is my VTuber mama, my VTuber pop up, that kind of thing. Mm, but yeah, I usually don't refer to the commissions I make like that. If it's like a complete stranger, pregnant already model for whenever you make a VTuber model. Honestly, no, the mouse is behind my model. You see, like you know what? Screenshot time. I'm a genius. So, honestly, the only thing I'd need to do is just deform this to be wider, and that'll take me like 5 seconds to do. But no, we're not going there. I think, okay, here is my take. Everyone should at least know very basic live 2D art and rigging so they can always make dumb upgrades to their model. Like, for example, if I want to like edit one thing for fun, I'm like, this could be interesting, but it's going to be expensive if you like commission an artist. But if you do it yourself, it'll take like 5 minutes. For example, hold on, this cup. I literally just took the image. I think I think Maxine, you sent this to me. I literally just took the image, redid the outline, and I just squished it a bit. And then when I was what's it called? I was playing Overcooked with Feather. Um, I think he put me on like this laptop where you can only see my face like this. So I'm like, hey, why don't you put me on like the table? And then there's some issues with the chroma key. I'm like, fine. What I wanted was you'd put me on the table, and then midway through the stream, when you're not looking, I just like turn this on. So yeah, this took me like 5 minutes to add. There's no need to deform it. I just shoved it into the layers and yeah, it worked. I was about to DM you asking about it. Oh, I guess you didn't see it. Because I showed it off for like 10 seconds and then I was shoved back into like the computer screen on Feather's table. And I spent like the rest of the time like this. So you would see a little green, but you won't know what that is. The reason I smushed down the cup, you'll notice it's not like the long one, is simply because all of the rigging is set for something this big. So yeah, everyone should have basic live 2D experience. That's my opinion. That's the case. I think my cat is radiation if they glow at night. I don't think you need to worry because if your cat is irradiated to that point, I don't think they're gonna live very long. So, can you put the smoothie on for 5 seconds? I gotta send that to Cloud. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let me adjust my position. This is nothing in the way. Do you take the photo? I have very weak facial muscles. I have resting bitch face. Smiling for long hurts. That is why my model, you see this little smile? This is me with a neutral expression. I can't smile the whole time. Oh, oops, wrong button. Ignore that. Thanks, that's amazing. I don't know if he saw it, but dress in case, yeah. I think Feather wanted a picture of it as well. I think he wanted to show it to Al, so he's like, hold still, I want to take a picture. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was like, wait, get ready for the picture, and I did this. I feel like I've only ever used the middle finger toggle on Feather. We were doing the ear fluff. I think this should be good. Maybe smaller. So we can fit more. Ooh, have you guys watched the new season of Stranger Things? I think I watched only the first episode. I must say, it's a little bit strange because like the actors have aged up, but the characters didn't really. And it feels a little uncanny. Because they're like a high school. Yeah, they're like high school kids, but they look 20. Like if I was a student in that school and I saw them, I'd immediately think like, "Oh, this is an undercover cop who they are like, he looks young enough," and then just threw him in there to look for drugs or something. Ooh, like 21 Jump Street if you've seen the movie. You'll ever look at houses for sale just to dream of owning a house? No. What I look at is castles for sale. So I know which ones are empty and I can just like move in and squat there for free because no one buys castles. Gotta think ahead. Modern problems require modern solutions. And then if you get away with it long enough, you have squatters' rights. Guys, please don't actually do that. I don't have castles in New Zealand, let alone in my area. Well, the UK has a lot of them, so I'm lucky. You know what? Let's go back to two. Too late clipping that to use in court. You know what? I keep forgetting to use this marker thing. So Hotcheck has stuff to work with. Owning a house is not cheap and maintenance takes a lot of time. Yeah, I can imagine. Because my roommate had like an inspection a while back. I think someone was like making sure it's all up to code and stuff. Apparently, my window needed replacing. I didn't understand why. They used a lot of words, but I wasn't listening. But yeah, they mentioned something to do with condensation. So yeah, my landlord was like, "Yeah, no worries about it. We'll just have to we'll order you a new window." It's like, "Oh, but apologies. One day it might be a bit cold because there'll be a hole in your wall, you know." But that's because it's like a commercial thing. Hmm. Well, if it's privately owned, I guess it's like whatever you're willing to live with, I suppose. Ooh, but there's also all sorts of taxes on top of it. It's not like you buy it once and then like you never think about it again. It's more of an issue when a place is rented. Yeah, I realized that afterwards. Because also, like, our kitchen has a fire door. And one of my housemates explained, because I think this is when my cousin first moved in, and they wanted to, like, explode the kitchen, but would get trapped there. So what I did was I propped it open with, like, a slipper so they can, like, slip in and out. And the landlord saw it, he didn't care. One of my housemates is like, oh, we actually shouldn't do this because, like, if the place burns down, this fire door means it'll take like at least 30 minutes for the fire to spread outside of the kitchen, and it'll give time for the firefighters to come. And also there's like an insurance thing, like if you prop the door open, I think it you're not allowed to claim insurance in case things burn down. So yeah. And then she also told me, it's like, oh, if you live like alone, you can do whatever you want, like it wouldn't be an issue, but like since it's like commercial property, they're like, oh, you need to have this. Thanks for the bills. Oh, there's more. Because not only do you pay like utilities and stuff, I think you also have to pay like property taxes. I wouldn't know. I don't own a house. Throughout my life, I've just like moved a lot. So usually, whenever like I live in a place, I always treat it as temporary. So yeah, I think it'll be a bit weird to like have one place and be like, this is mine, not moving. Insurance, I have gas, electric, water, trash, taxes, and insurances. Yep, it's a lot. That is why the strat is to live in the woods when no one knows you are there. Make it self-sustaining, comfortable. Yeah. I think that's what I want to do. I'm not going to be one of those crazy people that live in the forest and be like, we have to live off the land, and I don't know, drink fish guts or whatever. I think it'll just be like a fun project to do. Like, what if I build a little doomsday shelter for fun? Do I think I will need one? Probably not, and hopefully not. But would it be fun to build? Yes. Because I treat it kind of like a, if you've ever played any survival game, and I love base building. So I'm like, what if I tried base building, but IRL? You know? Maintenance had to replace my siding a few years ago and central AC and heating. Yeah, these things add up. How similar is it to a car? What are the hidden costs of owning a car? Because so far, the only things I can think of is, A, you purchase the car, and then there's fuel costs, insurance, and maintenance. Insurance, gas, and oil changes, maintenance. Ah, okay. There's no other hidden thing, right? Because I don't want to like get one and then be surprised with like more bills than I expected. I'm just curious. Maintenance would be brakes, other fluids, and tires. It's okay. I don't need brakes. I watch Fast and Furious. Oh yeah, taxes. I didn't know there were taxes on a car. Well, of course I'll do more research before I actually buy it. Depends on your area. Well, this is the UK. Everything is taxed. Everything is taxed already. Exactly. How do we feel about this? You know what isn't taxed? People who live in the forest where no one knows they are there. We need to pool our resources and build a compound in the middle of nowhere. We could be a real cult if we tried, guys. I'm just saying. Our priorities: um, electricity, internet, shelter, and food. In that order. In some states around me, there are not property taxes on cars, so people commit fraud by getting tags from those states. Ah, makes sense. I'd build a hobbit house in the woods as a backup. It's extremely easy. Yeah, there's that one YouTuber, Colin something. I think he built like this huge underground base in his house. I think he's been working on it for years. I used to track like the progress, but then I don't know, I think I lost interest. Or maybe I just didn't see his stuff as often online. Cuz I feel like that actually happens a lot with YouTube where there are like some creators I used to watch like a lot of their stuff and I just noticed like over time I just haven't seen their thing. Like I think one channel is I did a thing, right? So he just like does wacky crazy experiments, inventions, etc. And I saw one of his videos pop up on my recommended and I was like, I have not seen any of his content in like a year plus. Did he take a break or something? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, his underground tunnel and garage. Yeah. See, that's what we need to build. Just like in the middle of nowhere, so no one taxes us. Okay, let's see videos. Okay, 7 days ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Yeah, I have not seen. I have not seen a lot of his stuff recently. I think the last thing that I saw was like 2 years ago. Huh. Okay. So I was just stating my own curiosity. But yeah, I loved maker channels like that. It was really when I first started watching those ones, especially when they were like smaller channels, they'd be like, "Hey, I built this cool thing out of random scrap that I had." And usually I'd see what they built and how they built it, like which components they use. They're like, "Oh, we need this thing to do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, they do this." And I got like a lot of my hands-on knowledge watching stuff like that. So yeah, I think maybe my interest kind of slipped away when they're like, "Oh, we need to build this thing. We're gonna be using our $100,000 machine to get this precise thing." It's not like a bad thing that they did that. It's just like I liked it when it was things that I could kind of follow along, and a lot of the times it is like, "Oh, this is a cool thing that they made," but I feel like there's a certain charm that comes from it being built out of garbage. Yeah, buying a 100K machine to build a $5 part. Well, the thing is, I think one of them is the hacksmith, right? They have like a huge compound. Basically, like they have their own area, right? So they actually would invest in like a large machine like that. So even if they need like very simple parts, they already have the machine. Might as well. But yeah, I really like it. It's like, oh, I just got this random pipe hot glued it to that thing, and it kind of works. Pat self on back. I think that's what I liked. I'm not saying it's like bad that they don't do that anymore, but that's just my personal taste. Or I sent you a video of someone building a hobbit house. Is it one of those ones where they kind of dig in the ground? Built our very own hobbit house.
Breathe in email summarization.
Okay, hold on. It's a 20-minute long video. I'm just gonna click the most viewed parts. You know what? It looks super cozy. I will build one. Make it a guest house. I was about to cough, then remember to mute my mic. This is basic house maintenance. Something broke, look around for something to fix the issue. Yeah, that's basically how I was raised. Because there's like this water tank at our house, and it started to like bend and deform because it's like getting old. So my dad was like, what if we got like a bunch of planks of wood, placed it against the thing, and like tightened it with wire, like metal wire? So it would like kind of support it'll give it like a frame and kind of reinforce it. Because if that water tank is like filled really full, it starts to like deform and kind of like swell a bit because of like the weight of the water. And then I was like, if we leave it like this, it'll eventually burst, and then we don't have water. Because like in my home country, you don't get like water from the taps like here in the UK or like the US. Um, we would actually have to pump like groundwater into like storage tanks and then use it from there. So yeah, that tank, if it bursts, then the entire house just has no water. So yeah, it was just like, hey, we have this pipe laying around. We have some planks of wood. Here is some metal wire. We also had. We'll fix it ourselves. We don't need to replace this or pay someone to fix it. So I feel like that's how I build a lot of the stuff that I make. Is it's very MacGyvered, very cobbled together out of random stuff. And like, it doesn't look pretty, but it works. It's called redneck ingenuity in my area. You know what? I love redneck ingenuity. It has its charms. I do that and put dirt and grass over it to hide it. Is that not what I did in the video? I don't think I saw the very end. Hold on. No, okay, I skipped to the end. No, they made a hut and then put grass on top of it. What you would. Hold on. Let me send this picture. Okay, this is what they did. What you would need, just pile dirt. You know what? Pile dirt like this. Pile dirt like this on top of it. And there you go. You have a hobbit house. Did that on just the roof so it's not very hidden unless you're in a helicopter. But that kind of takes away its charm. You need to make it look like a real hobbit house. I think they were lazy. I mean, they're probably just making it for content. But yeah, if you were devoting like time into it, you'd probably need to buy a ton of dirt and just pour it out here. Or you could kind of sink this a little bit in the ground. No, but then it might flood when it rains. No, you can probably. No way. There's ways to keep the water out. It's fine. But yeah, you could sink this maybe like a quarter of the way into the ground, maybe halfway, and use that dirt to bury the rest of it. Honestly, I think this is a bit small, but if they made like a much larger one, they'd have enough dirt to do it. Because initially I was like, oh, buying like a ton of dirt. I think you can buy dirt like if you're, as construction materials. But then I was like, that might be expensive. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. But I'm like, no, you can get dirt from the ground, especially if you have a hobbit house. You can make the excuse of digging down. Yeah, they could have done a better job. Me being nitpicky. I like how we've not made any progress with this. So you build a place in a berm. What's a berm? Let me Google this. Berm, a strip of land, raised bank, or terrace bordering a river. Or you could, hmm. My plan was it's like slightly on a hill. This is what I was thinking. This is what I'd do. If it's on like a little bit of a hill, like that, you dig down like this. And this is where your door is. Right? Do tell me if this is a berm. And then you have a little bit of a roof here. So the water will trail down like this. And since this is slanted, it'll go like this and not like that. We have them in my city. They're called berm houses, but we also have some underground houses. A berm house, you have to mow your roof. What do you mean mow your roof? Because when I hear mow, I just think cutting grass. Is that what you mean? Yep. Hmm. Why though? What benefit would cutting the grass on top of the house do? Because I have no experience building a hobbit house. Usually, a lot of these problems occur when you try them and be like, "Oh, I didn't think of that." So I'm actually curious. City has comments on grass length. Oh, okay, okay. I guess if you live underground, your roof counts as your lawn. Yep, if you live in the woods, then nobody cares. Yeah, that's why I want to live in the woods. My only concerns, internet. Although, Starlink exists, and given enough time, they will have competitors, probably. So you can get satellite internet. Oh, they are alternatives. I don't know what they are yet. But yeah, if we have internet, electricity, we're good to go. Food, we could just grow potatoes. Amazon Leo is a competitor Starlink that's coming extremely soon. They promise gigabit speeds. You know what? I'm glad. Finally, my home country may have internet speed that is more than 50 Mbps max. Some of my friends that still live there gonna be so happy. Why is this moving? Oh wait, sorry. Brain is not braining. Except it makes the astrophotographers really mad. More satellites photobombing them. Yeah. There's also the whole space debris thing. Because, like, the more stuff you have in space, the more things collide. And, like, collisions in space, things are moving really, really, really fast to the point that something that is, I don't know, you'd spit out a piece of gum. If that hits a satellite, it explodes. I think there's an image. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Space debris impact. Okay, here's an image. Yeah, the effect of space debris. You'll have like a little tiny ball. It's moving super, super fast. It'll shear through whatever, right? Now, most satellites are not made of 18 centimeter thick steel, so this will go straight through. But yeah, now each time something hits into it, that satellite will explode and turn into little debris. Now those debris basically float around, collide with more satellites, and those ones create even more debris. And it just gets worse and worse and worse to the point it becomes unsafe to even launch stuff into space. Like satellites will be destroyed if you launch like a space shuttle, may not survive. I actually saw a video on like how to survive an alien invasion, like what Earth could do. And basically it is like, hey, we could just pollute space so much to the point that it's so unsafe for any spacecraft to like enter orbit. And they're like, hey, we may trap ourselves on Earth, but at the same time, we keep other people out. So, pros and cons, I guess. There's also a handful of competitors to Starlink that are the same speed as Starlink. If it's the exact same service, same quality, same everything, just minus Elon, I would get it. Since there's a space station to people, it makes it even more dangerous. Yeah. There's a lot of debate on like space debris and like, hey, how can we prevent it and what can we do to like solve the problem now? Because in theory, you could wait and it'll all kind of just fall to Earth gently over time, but that could take like many years. So yeah, I think I saw some ideas were like with nets, other ones were giant magnets. There was a lot of wacky ideas. I don't know if there's actually anything going on right now. Hold on. Cleaning space debris. Okay. European Space Agency. Mm, okay. Removing debris from orbit. The process to rendezvous with a piece of space junk and remove it is called active debris removal. A chaser spacecraft matches the orbit of the object once it has been successfully grabbed hold of, overcoming difficulties. Changes orbit, re-enter. Okay, so this is basically we have a junk satellite flying. We're going to send another rocket to grab it, throw it back to Earth or something. But that's only with large things like dead satellites. What about like I don't know things that the size of a coin? That might be harder. Hmm. Or maybe humanity will perfect force fields which disintegrate anything that touches it, so we just never have to worry about that anymore. Leo, that's gigabit down, but at the same time promise 400 up, so still 350 megabits faster than Starlink. You know what? I'll take it. Well, if you live in like a first world country and, you're in one of those areas that have a really good internet, I don't think it's necessary. I think the main selling point was people who live in like rural areas or even like rural countries. In my case, not rural, third world countries, like not in my case. What my case used to be. So that would be like super super useful. Like when I had gone to live with my parents for like I think a while, and I was like, they have Starlink here, and I was actually itching to buy it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be here long enough, and my parents only use like enough internet to receive WhatsApp messages. They're not even gonna enjoy it if I leave. They would even notice, right? So I was like, no, I'll resist. But if I lived in my home country, like I was forced to, yeah, definitely getting Starlink. Or if they are competitors and they're, available in my country, I would go for them. Mostly just because of Elon. It's the principle. Or if you travel and camp a lot, true. But if I travel to, well, travel is one thing. If I'm going camping, I feel like the point would be so that I disconnect. Like for example, even if I go on like a day trip somewhere, like on the train, I actually avoid using like my phone or whatever. I just like sit by the window, look outside, disconnect from the internet for a bit. There are people who do something called glamping. I actually heard about that for the first time, I think a couple of years ago. Glamorous camping. It's basically I don't know if that's yeah, I don't know if that counts as camping. I think of it like a for those who don't know. Wait, let me see if there's any good examples online. Hmm. Okay, this is a random image that I got. I hate it when they don't allow you to just copy image. Anyway, yeah, this is glamping. It's basically like a hotel slash camping, you know? I don't know if it counts as camping. I think it's for people who like the idea of camping but not actually camping, you know? I've gone actual camping like I wouldn't say which mountain it was cuz this is my home country. But yeah, gone mountain climbing and you're basically out there for a week. All your food, all your equipment and stuff is like on your back. You sleep outside and, by a fire with a sleeping bag. It's pretty. I say during that time, I missed a shower. I missed taking a shower. But, like, you just have a bunch of wet wipes. It'll keep you going until you finish your trip. But yeah, I would say this is like a hotel getaway more than actual camping. But then again, I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's just what do you enjoy, and then you just go for it. I've been camping. Personally, I think I would like the comforts of glamping. Hmm. I don't think I like camping too much, to be honest. If I want to reconnect with nature, I'd go for like a day hike. I don't think I like camping anymore. I did it once, like for the experience to climb the mountain. But other than that, I was like, that was fun. I don't think I'll do that again. But for me, disconnecting from the internet is, how do you say this? Not even reconnecting with nature, whatever. It's just I need to give my brain time off. There was a word I was thinking of. What was it called? Let me see. Am I thinking of the correct thing? Yeah, it's called brain popcorn. It's basically, well, this is the overview, but I think it's okay. Yeah, a brain popcorn. I realize if I'm connected to the internet for too long, yeah, I think this one, rapid scattered thoughts, Ryan. Your brain actually needs to be bored occasionally, so it can be like, okay, we have downtime. Let's organize thoughts, organize memories, right? So it's kind of bad to like always be doing something all the time, every single day. So yeah, usually if I go on a train ride, I use that as my cognitive downtime. But I don't need something as crazy as, I don't know, living in the forest for a week or so. For me, just a few hours on a train staring blankly out a window, yeah, works for me. So it's super bad though. Yeah, that image of like the glamping thing. There's a lot of stuff in my home country like that, but they don't call it glamping or anything. They don't lie to you. They're like, this is a hotel getaway. Or you're renting. No, villa is large. They're like, yeah, you can rent like this seaside room and all of that stuff. Okay. Hmm. How do we want to do the wings? What are we talking about? Glamping. I heard about it for the first time when I think a friend of mine, one of their friends, went glamping with like their partner. And then she was telling me about it. I think she was just very fascinated with the word because she just kept using it over and over again. And I think that's the first time I heard about it. You know what? I think if I had to choose, I would go glamping. But I wouldn't take like a. Obviously, I'll take my phone, but I think I would just disconnect from like the internet. Just be like, hey, everyone, would be reachable for a few days. And then, yeah, I don't know, keep it on airplane mode or something. Go bird watching or something. Never actually done it before. Although, while I'm here in the UK, I noticed there's like a lot of like different variety of birds. I think back in my home country, you just see things like pigeons, sparrows, and crows. You rarely see anything other than those three. So the variety here has taken me by surprise. I'm like, no wonder people do bird watching. I would hear about it in like shows and movies and stuff. But I'm like, why would anyone want to go look at pigeons? But yeah, makes sense. Also, I think I'm gonna call it here. I am a bit tired. I'll go see if my cat is at home. If not, I'll go shaking treats around not even neighborhood, just like my backyard. And yeah. Okay, who are we rating? We have some people that we know who are on. So yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. And yeah, I hope to see you next time, which is day after tomorrow. So yeah, bye everyone. Okay, this is a very long timer. And I'm tired and I want to go to bed. So I'm just gonna hit raid now in a second. So yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. And yeah, bye bye.